Hi, this is Mustang from JuanSource.com. Today I'm going to be doing a demo commentary on our CGS North American match Venom versus Core on D-Nuke. CT side I'll be playing Rafters mostly, and T side I'll be playing in the hut and watching for hut pushes and executing around there. So let's go ahead and get that started. Alright, we're going to be starting out CT side here, playing against the Carolina Core. What you're going to notice right here, me and Dominator are lobbing two smoke grenades up into the top of the building, and what those are going to do for us is land right next to the squeaky and double smoke that off. So anybody coming out of the squeaky door on the terrorist side is going to be completely smoked out, and right at the beginning the timing is pretty well because we can see them, see their legs and whatnot coming out because the smokes aren't full bloomed, yet they can't see anything. So that gives us a big advantage against any fast squeaky. I'm going to be playing Z spot here, and as you'll notice I'm just running around. Since they're throwing flashes and whatnot, I'm trying to gain as much cover as I can against those. Very effective setup here is one person Z spot, which is what I was playing right above the squeaky and Rafters, and one forklift. The forklift guy can watch the hut, while the Z player can watch anything coming out of the squeaky, and they both are covered from the mini, so if anybody comes mini they can't see anybody before they actually enter the site. This gives us a pretty big advantage against an outside rush or anything like that, as they'll have to fully enter the site and take our flashes and whatnot before they can actually fire at any of us. As you'll notice again, we're doing the smokes for the squeaky. We're going to be doing those pretty much every round to counter the Core, as they like to use the squeaky door as fast rush, and mid-round rush is a lot. Now, since he got a pick here, we're not going to be playing too aggressive at all. We're down a man, so we're just going to be playing very passive, waiting for this to come. Since it is a nuke, we're able to do that, and they have to actually enter the sites before they actually can see any of us. They decided to take ramp this round and are going to go lower. As you'll notice, a flash just came out of lobby in the mini, so what I'm going to do here is break that vent and just stop moving and pretty much bait that lobby guy out in case he's wanting to flank any of us. And when I came down the vent, I was able to see that guy running across the Rafters toward the vent, so I just lobbed a flash out there and peeked out with the flash. What this allows me to do is, when I throw a flash and he sees it, he's most likely going to turn. That's basic instinct right there, to avoid the flash. And if I peek out with that flash, then I can shoot him in the back. Even if I do get blind, he's going to have his back turned, and I'm going to have just a split second to take him down. And that's all I need, especially in a 1v1 situation there, where I can only see him and he can only see me at the time. Now they did a fast squeaky here. Well, not too fast of a squeaky, but I was able to just pick him off, just staying in that spot with the double smokes around the squeaky, and they weren't able to see anybody until they actually entered the site, while I could see them just running around in the smokes. This round they threw their heaven smokes. It's important to call that when you see it, as it usually indicates a fast upper. Since that saw a guy trying to come out the squeaky with that, we just called that and just both spanned into the squeaky. We want to stop. You want to stop them before they actually come out to the site. So in that situation where it was double smoked out and we couldn't see anything in there, we just started spamming through the smoke just in case they tried to come out of there. As their bottleneck coming through that door, we can just hit them with every shot if they actually try to come through there. Also, one other thing you'll notice, if you noticed last round, after I was done spamming and firing my deagle and killing that guy, I threw a flash because me and my teammate watching that squeaky both wasted our clips, and I didn't want any guys running out there while we were reloading and taking us down. So I just wasted a flash there, regardless if I knew there was a guy coming in and out or not. As you'll notice right here, they're doing a fake upper, throwing a lot of flashes. You don't, when you're getting flashed in upper rafters, you don't want to waste all your flashes to counter theirs. Just waste one, and if they don't come out, then play until they actually do. A huge mistake I just made right there was spamming at the guys coming up into heaven. I wasn't able to rotate over there fast enough, and if I had just taken my time and shot the first guy down and just bursted at the second guy and third guy, I would still have a much better chance, and maybe got that second guy and gave my team a better chance to win the round. Instead, I made a mistake and started spamming into the group of them. And although that can be good if there is a group there, you still want to aim and take your shots, especially from that distance. I was pretty far away to spam. Another thing you'll notice is we're always double nading the hut on this setup, so we are combating any fast squeaky and also countering any fast hut push with those double nades. So it allows us to get into position and pretty much counter any fast upper. As you'll notice here again, I shoot out the vent and just wait it out for a little bit. You know, wait for anybody flanking through that lobby. And since we still have 4 guys alive, I don't want to push it to those vents because they'll just be overcrowded. Here you'll notice I peeked out with my flashes again to catch him off guard. And I pushed and I was able to catch that guy. When I was still in those vents, the first flash I did throw out, I didn't push out with it, but I peeked out with it just to catch them and see where they were. Usually they'll be playing in those back halls and they'll be posted up, and when I threw that flash out, I was able to see where that guy was, and I could push him later on, and a few seconds later. I just wanted to spot them where they were, not necessarily catch them off guard. But as soon as that flash did blow up, I continued with my flash push and threw another flash and just ran into it. Well, this round is over pretty quick, just pure domination over there at ramp. 5 bullets, 5 kills. Can't really say much more about that. Since the setup is working pretty well, we're going to continue playing it. They haven't spotted me up in Zet spot, nor have they spotted Dominator over at Forklift too much. They haven't hit the upper too much there, as they haven't even been able to get into upper. As you'll notice here, they tried to come out that hut, and when they did that, we called a fast upper, and again, we just started spamming into the squeaky smokes. Because if they're coming out the hut, then they're most likely going to come out the squeaky too. So we just started spamming there, and we were able to pick off a guy and get the bomb down. We have great positioning here. As we have the bomb, they have to come in the upper and get it, which they're not going to be able to do. Now once I got shot there, I decided to back up into the corner, as my position was probably called to the guy that was up in that spot. And although it is a 4v1, I want to play it safe and not give that guy any gun. You know, I don't want to go in there, push, die, and give him my M4 and a chance to win the round. It's always good to play it safe, especially on CT side when you have the man advantage. There's no reason to push and give up that man advantage. Now this round, both my teammates decided to double up the squeaky. Now this wasn't called, so instead of actually watching the squeaky, I watched the hut. You want to keep track of what your teammates are doing too, in case they do something different like that. That way you're able to switch it up too, and not get caught off guard. Like if a guy came out the hut right that round, if we hadn't called that, then we pretty much would have been screwed if I hadn't looked at the hut. Now I counter with that flash and also reposition right here. I threw my flash from the Z spot, so instead of staying up there and waiting, I crossed over to the middle of the rafters. That way they would have been looking at the Z, which that guy was, and I wasn't there. So I was able to catch that guy off guard. Unfortunately, that smoke gave that other guy just clear position. I couldn't even see him in the smoke. He's able to take me down. And that is the end of first half. Alright, we're going to be starting second half here. Now starting on Terra's side, we want to feel them out, so we're just going to split up and see if we can get any picks from them pushing. We don't want to start out with a strat on Terra's side. We just want to feel them out and see how they're playing it, and then we can start focusing on what we need to hit. My job here is just going to be watching any hut push and also to be the first guy out of that hut on our upper hits. Just watching for any close hut push, and since they smoked it out, I don't want to be peeking in that corner too much because a guy might be able to see me whereas I can't see him too well. So I back up and not let that guy see me from like forklift knob or something. And once we're able to start the upper push, I hug this wall. The reason I hug that wall right there when I'm the first person out is anybody above that hut in the rafters can't really see me too well coming out. And another thing, when you're coming out, you'll notice I didn't go out right after the flash went off. I went out like with the flash right when that window was breaking. This way, when that window breaks, the guy is gonna basically just turn his back to avoid that flash, and I'm gonna pop right out of the hut at that time. Of course, I'm gonna get flashed too, but I'll have much better position because I'm gonna continue running it along that wall. And by the time he gets unflashed and by the time I get unflashed, I'll be up in the corner and he's not gonna know it. This round we're going to be doing the same thing, just feeling them out, seeing if they changed anything up. Now from last round, I noticed they had naded hut about 2 or 3 times from the heaven, so I know they're coming through that heaven. So instead of throwing my nade in the mini like I did the last round, I toss it in front of the hut just in case anyone pushed down and are anywhere near there. Again, I come out with the flash, and my teammates spread out throughout the site, and I'm able to kill that guy. He doesn't even see me coming out of the hut and hugging that wall. We have pretty good man advantage here. I'm able to pick that guy off through the wall when he's coming up through there. We're able to pick out that round pretty easily. In those situations where it's a 2-on-1, you have the bomb down. You don't want to peek together. You want to waste his time as much as you can. So if he gets on the bomb, just have one guy peek and make sure he's not on there and fight him and whatnot. And then that just gives you an extra 5 seconds on the next guy. And he can peek once the other guy's either dead and or backed up. We're feeling them out and throwing a few fakes here in the upper, throwing a few flashes, trying to draw their flashes and see where they're playing. Now if I were to see any flashes bounce like right in front of the hut and bounce pretty high, I would know there's a guy right above the hut in the rafters. Now once we started executing, a pretty big mistake I made there was I waited too long to actually go in through the hut. I waited probably about 1.5 to 2 seconds after that first flash went off to actually go out the hut. Now, it wouldn't have really mattered in that round because there was a guy mini that just picked me off and there was nobody forklift or in the rafters. But had there been, I would have been able to pick that guy off, and what I did there, I probably would have just got shot down by that guy. So it's always good to have good communication to be set up like that. Be set up for your strats. Here we're doing a fast upper. Now as soon as 2 of us get killed, we stop the rush and just look for a few picks. We don't want to keep pushing in there because we're already down. We're already down man advantage, and we got picked off. So I'm in a bad situation here. I'm being surrounded. So what I'm doing here is I wanna look for a kill. So that's what I'm doing before they're able to fully like group up and make a push on me. So I was trying to feel them out, see if I could pick one off that was out of position, and make it a 2v1 instead of a 3v1. You don't want to wait for them to group up in situations like that. If it's a 1v2 and you have the bomb down, per se, you wanna pick one. You wanna get aggressive and pick one before they're actually able to group up and be like together. That way, you can take them 1v1 instead of 2v1. So have 2 1v1 situations instead of just one 2v1 situation. You stand a much better chance. Here again, we're trying to draw out a few flashes and see how they're playing. Now I'm just trying to draw them out and see if I can spot them where they're at. I'm pretty low on health here, so what I'm gonna do is help us get the bomb down and back up and watch the flank. Since I'm low on health, I don't want to be out in the open. I want to pretty much bait my team and watch the flank. That way I can pick off a guy unexpectedly if he's running through here, instead of like him looking at me and me looking at him and being a 1v1. I made another mistake here, and I didn't try to take that guy while he was just running straight forward, and they were able to group up on Zid over at Forklift because I didn't try to push and kill that guy. I just kind of try to shoot at him and fall back, see if I could draw him over to me and split him up, but they just kept running forward. So I should have jumped out that window and went for him instantly. It's a good indicator on how they're playing by just watching how the nades are coming into the HUD. If there's one nade from heaven or two nades from heaven, you already know how many they're sending through there. And if they switch that up at all, you know they switch their setup up. So there might be a guy mini or whatnot. So you want to pay attention to how they're throwing their nades into the HUD and call it to your team. That way you know how many they're playing in upper for one, and where they're playing. It gives you a little example of where they're playing. Another thing, when you're in the upper site and you're just taking it, you want to use your flashes to get the bomb down. You don't want to sit around, even if you do have pretty good positioning. You don't want to sit around while your team is planting the bomb and not flash at all, because they might be able to come up into heaven and pick off your bomber, and then you'll most likely kill that guy. But had you just flashed, you would have delayed him for that 2 or 3 seconds for him to get the bomb down and get into better position, and not have a guy out of the round because he's planting the bomb. Here I'm just looking for a few hut pushes. We've been playing pretty good. It's a 3 to 3 right now. So just looking for anything like a hut push or anything by Squeaky. Unfortunately, when I'm coming out there, I did the right thing and hugged that wall and just peeked up into the rafters, but there was nobody playing there. So as soon as I turned around, Org was able to take me out from Forklift. There's nothing I could really do about that. Just chose the wrong way to look. One thing when you are hitting that upper, if it is a strat where your whole team's heading upper, if you get flashed, you want to keep pushing. You do not want to stop. Most likely, if you're flashed, then they're going to be flashed too, because you're flashing in there. So you don't want to sit around and wait, because you might block your teammates, and you pretty much make your flashes useless because you waited too long. Here I make a really big mistake and start spamming at this guy and completely miss him, instead of just taking my time and killing him like I did that guy. But it's bad to go into spam mode too much like I did there, because it's pretty random in Source. This round, since we did win the last round and it's 4 to 4, we're going to play a little more passive and wait for any aggressive push. I push hut first thing because I can beat that guy if he decides to push the hut and catch him right around that corner. So I just pushed in there and checked it real quick and then fell back. That way I could avoid any late nades and also make sure they're not pushing fully in there. Now we fell back to a kind of a half passive here in the lobby. Instead of playing in the hut, I'm a little pushed back, just waiting for them to make a move. As a team, we made a mistake here because we tried to call their strat and think they were gonna push, so we held passive. Unfortunately, they didn't push, so we wasted a lot of time there, and we just let the clock run all the way down before we were able to actually able to take the site. And we lost track of watching the time, and I just clicked down. How we watched the actual time going down there, we could have been much more aggressive to get that bomb down, which we needed to. But that's the end of the commentary. I hope you all enjoyed it.